Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Colleen Klimczak. I'm an organizational and productivity coach and a certified professional organizer. I own Peace of Mind Professional Organizing, LLC. Since 2003, I've been helping my clients live better lives through organizing and organizational and productivity coaching. I support my clients and my community with coaching, in-person and virtual organizing, my weekly podcast called Your Organized Life with Colleen Klimczak, a free weekly virtual productivity session called Finish Line Friday, a free weekly email newsletter, and regular content on Facebook and Instagram. I also offer presentations and professional development to groups and companies. And coming soon, I'll be launching my membership circle to support my community with even more coaching and productivity content. Want to finish strong this week? Join me for Finish Line Friday every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central for a 2-hour productivity session. Drop me an email at colleen@peaceofmindpo.com to request my Zoom room link, or follow the Zoom room link on my Instagram or Facebook pages. Welcome to Your Organized Life, episode 173. I am proud to share this week that as of March 1st, I am renewed as a certified professional organizer. I took the original exam back in 2008 as part of the second class ever to take the certification exam. And every 3 years, I recertify. To do that, I'm required to continue to work in the profession, logging a certain number of hours every year, plus completing a certain number of continuing education units, and then submitting my CEUs with my application. So, like I said, tooting my own horn, I am recertified, and I am continuing to grow and improve myself professionally for me and for all of you. So this week, I don't know, are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. The spring stirrings for change, for a refresh. Just last week was the first day of spring. I'm here in Chicago, so we are still solidly in winter some days, and then we get a 72-degree day just to keep things interesting. It's very hard to keep track of. But the days are longer, and the sun is brighter, and the low temperatures aren't quite as low, and we know that spring is here. My coaching and organizing clients fall into 3 camps historically this time of year. The it's a new season, let's do everything differently camp. And then there's the, change is difficult, so I hesitate to make even small changes camp. And then there's the group that says, wait, what? It's spring? Why change? And honestly, all 3 of those states of being are reasonable. And thinking about this topic as I headed out for an appointment this morning, I realized I can also be in all of those states of being in a matter of moments. Leaving my garage, I noticed rubbish in our alley now that all the snow has melted. And the impulse was to leap out of the car, pick up all the trash, and then I could rake and mow and plant a garden. All or nothing, right? And then almost immediately after, I said to myself, no, I don't have time for that. And it's still too cold, and I'd mess up my clothes before my appointment, and when will I find the time? Etc., etc. The good news is, as I drove to my appointment, I came up with a more reasonable plan of attack to update. Just update. Not freak out, and also not abandon all hope. Smack in the middle is just update. And that's what we're talking about today. So I often suggest to you and to me that we make changes. And I want to remind you that there's always a choice. I remind my clients that the agenda for our work together is always their agenda. So any changes you want to make are your own, and I am there to support you. I share ideas here and hope that they resonate with you, my community. I was pleasantly surprised when I went out to breakfast with my family a few weekends ago. A woman who has been to presentations and events with me along the way was leaving the restaurant with her family at the same time I was leaving with mine. So if she's listening, hi, Nancy. It was nice to talk to you. And when we spoke, she said she was excited about the recent topic of the done list. Now, I don't know if she reads my newsletters or listens to the podcast, or maybe both. But she said that the done list idea really resonated with her. And I'm so glad. I discover cool ideas or suggestions that resonate with me, and I hope that in sharing that they resonate with you too. And that they can be implemented if you choose to make life better for you. Now, I know not every episode or idea or newsletter will click with you. Regardless, the topics I introduce are meant to be suggestions. Suggestions only. And I guess I want to soften the suggestions today and every day, really, with a reminder that personal development is a choice. You always have a choice. Because sometimes making change feels hard. Update, right? Just an update. So I can share an idea and you may think something like, that's a great idea, Cal, but I'm not ready to take on anything new. I am already overwhelmed. Totally understand. In keeping with the recent articles on self-care and also giving ourselves some grace, this topic is a similar perspective shift that I invite us, you and me, to think about. And that is, we never have to change everything. We are never truly starting over or starting from scratch. Now, I try not to say never and always, or should or must, but I will keep the never this time. We never have to change everything, right? That's the good news. What is more likely and comfortable and sustainable for most of us in most of our seasons of life, we might just need to get back to our usually scheduled habits or make small changes over time. And I want to remind us all of that because change can feel hard. It can feel difficult. So let's think about updates. That was the word that was floating around in my noggin as I pondered what I want my message to be to my community this week. And it was the idea of updates. For example, somewhere along the way in the last 30 plus years, I know this because I looked it up, the first team created the first smartphone. I'm grateful to them every day to have this much communication power right here in my pocket. That team created the idea, built the prototype, fashioned the first operating system, and other teams have improved and expanded and fine-tuned the idea since then. And when we buy a new smartphone, we reap the benefit of all the work that was done to invent the smartphone and also all the work that has been done to improve and expand upon the smartphone. Without even thinking about it, we receive the cumulative knowledge and all the hardware updates and all the software updates, all the operating system updates for those last 30 years too. When we buy a phone today, we don't start with an empty box. We don't start at zero. There's a whole lot that's already in place. There's the phone, sure, and the operating system, and we continually receive updates. Now, some are big updates, I know, and that can be startling when our screen does not look the same anymore. I have an iPhone, and some updates are pushed out to our phones, and sometimes we choose to buy a new phone, and changes come with that. But we're almost never starting from scratch. We are more likely updating, as opposed to starting over or having to feel overwhelmed because we have to make everything different all at once. Sometimes we feel like change is huge and uncomfortable and ginormous, and it's going to take forever, and it's going to be expensive, and it's so overwhelming. I don't know where to start, right? Does any of that sound familiar? Maybe you're thinking, I want to be more productive, but changing my routine is hard, and I have little kids or aging parents, and I just don't have the time, and making change is hard, so I'm never going to do it. That could be. Or maybe you're thinking, I want to look at taking on new responsibilities at work, but that feels scary and overwhelming too. We inflate these things more than we need to. And I say we, meaning me too, but I'm suggesting that perhaps it's just an update. It's not a new operating system, a new language, a new country. A real life example, I have a client who pays me via Venmo. Many do. For some reason, even when she pays me, and she did, and I even acknowledge the payment, every month it seems she receives a reminder to pay an invoice that's already been paid. She's correct. She does. But here's the deal. I didn't send the reminder. Venmo did. And we don't know why. I made sure on my side that the request was paid. She had done the right thing. I've done the right thing. We've done the right thing together. And for some reason, she keeps getting these reminders. So while I would love to follow up with Venmo about the issue, and I likely will, I don't even know what to ask them at this point. And slogging through hours with customer service does not sound like fun. But instead of trying to change everything, I suggested a simple workaround that should solve the problem for us in the future. So without having to change Venmo or their operating system, we can certainly come up with a solution that's just updating how we normally do things. I don't have to recreate Venmo. I just need to send her a text and she can send me the money via Venmo the way we always have. If it's still a problem, maybe we can dig deeper, but a workaround, a nice simple update sounds a lot more manageable for both of us. I don't have to change everything. I don't have to get overwhelmed or impatient. I just needed an update. There was a bug that needed to be fixed. I love the description of some operating system updates. It fixes a few bugs. Like, we did this and we realized that when we updated this area, this other area got squirrely. So we fixed that too, right? That's the verbiage on our updates sometimes. So let's do that more often for ourselves. Updating as opposed to starting over or starting from scratch or making things far more complicated than they need to be. Let's just update instead of installing a whole new operating system or feeling like we have to create one. I will finish where I started with the reminder that you get to choose what you want to update. You get to choose what bugs you want to fix, as it should be. And maybe instead of huge changes which aren't sustainable and feel uncomfortable, maybe we don't need to feel overwhelmed. We can start really small and update small habits or processes and reap benefits instead of feeling like we have to change everything all at once to make progress and then we never do it. And when I offer suggestions like self-care and cutting ourselves some grace or creating a done list, and those resonate with you, great. And if not, that's fine too. Maybe that's not a bug you need to fix. Maybe that's not an adjustment you need to make. Maybe that's not what you need updated. So let's work on small adjustments, fixing bugs here and there, knowing that we own the process, and knowing we don't have to start over. We don't have to start from scratch. We're never rebuilding from zero. Maybe it's just time for an update. Support around getting our important work done, whatever that looks like, is what productivity coaching is all about. If it's time to invest in yourself and explore coaching for organizing and productivity, I would love to hear from you. Drop me a line via email at colleen@peaceofmindpo.com or message me through my social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Thank you so much and talk to you next week.